Thanks for all coming. Thanks for all you guys coming today. Since the Humane Society of Greater Dayton opened its doors in 1902, it's been our goal to improve the lives of people and animals in our community. We've accomplished many milestones throughout the years, and in more recent times we've become a no-kill facility. We've implemented many proactive programs such as Cat Neuter Return to decrease the number of free-roaming cats in our community, and we've expanded our adoption locations throughout Montgomery County to include even our own Meows the Cat Boutique at the Dayton Mall. Our organization is on the forefront of addressing animal-related issues in our community. Over the years, the Humane Society of Greater Dayton has seen an ever-increasing need to tackle our community's cat overpopulation problem, expand our ability to help animals who are abused and neglected, provide more homes for pets in need, and assist struggling families in taking better care of their furry family members. As many of you know, our current facility is at capacity, and we've been challenged by a growing need to help more and more animals. For the past year, we've been developing a dynamic plan to further address our community's needs. I'm delighted to share that the Humane Society of Greater Dayton will be working with our community partners to transform animal welfare in the Maumee Valley. This means more spays and neuters, more help for abused and neglected animals within our community, more adoptions, and more help for struggling families trying to care for, again, their furry family members. It's time to unleash the change. We're excited here at the Humane Society of Greater Dayton, and over the next few months we'll be sharing with you a more detailed version of our vision for the future.
Well, let's go ahead and get your names so we have that on.
Sorry, I usually start with that, don't I? It's Brian, B-R-I-A-N, last name W-E-L-T-G-E, President and CEO of the Humane Society of Greater Dayton.
Okay. Talk about how you're going to make this all happen.
Oh, it's exciting. You know, again, we've been around for a long time, over 114 years, really 115 years. And again, we've just seen so many things in our community that is just requiring our help. More and more animals in need, more and more pets that are unspayed, unneutered, and so again, it's going to take a community effort. We're a not-for-profit, we're a 501c3 not-for-profit organization, and it's going to take a community-wide effort. But we're excited about it. We became a no-kill facility in 2010, as I've already mentioned, and I know that we can have a no-kill community as a whole.
Can you talk about some of the art renderings that we are going to look at here in a second?
Sure. Let's start over here. So the first one that you'll see over here is a high-volume spay-neuter clinic. Right now we're doing about 4,000 spays and neuters a year. And again, other animal welfare organizations in our community are also spaying and neutering everything they can get their hands on, and we're still having pet overpopulation problems. We're one of the ones on the forefront of tackling community cat issues. Meaning too many cats out in our communities, and we believe that we're not going to get there by doing only 4,000 spays and neuters a year. So our vision is to create a high-volume spay-neuter clinic to be able to do up to 20,000 spays and neuters of mostly community cats, but then other spays and neuters as well. And that's the first thing you'll see there is a high-volume spay-neuter clinic. The next one over is, I think you all are aware that we have a very large community. We have people all around who own pets, people who are doing very well, and people who are struggling. And our belief is that we are going to provide help for people who are struggling. People who are struggling still have family pets. They love their pets like anyone else loves their pets. And they shouldn't be forced to make a decision to euthanize their pet or to turn their pet over to a sheltering system. Just because they can't provide what that pet might need. And it could be something simple. It could be an ACL repair. It could be fixing a broken leg. It could be any number of things that, again, families are struggling within our community to try to help. So our vision is to create a needs-based animal hospital, sliding scale, so that we will be able to help anyone who owns a pet. And again, we'll be targeting those who are in need for that hospital. This is just a collage. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Over here is an adoption center. As we come across more and more animals in our community, of course, especially out in the neighborhoods, many of the cats that we're getting in the community cat program are friendly and can actually go into an adoption center. But we're challenged where we are. We're kind of in an area where there's not high traffic, and so we believe that if we build a larger adoption facility in a different part of town, that we'll be able to house more animals and be able to place more animals. And the other thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of our caging systems here are taken up with pets that are in the process of getting ready for adoption. Our adoption center will be housing only animals that are ready for adoption. So we'll actually be able to expand dramatically how many animals find homes. And then over here, we have the Golden Duck Barn. As many of you know, we are owned by Ohio Law. And we're challenged when we come across a situation when there's large-scale hoarding, for example. We're even dealing with a case right now where there's a lot of cats within a house. And it's a hoarding case. And so when we get large amounts of animals that we have to take from people, or large amounts of animals that have been abandoned, we're challenged to absorb them into this building. And so many times, unfortunately, we have to rent warehouse space in order to accommodate those animals. So our vision is to create a cruelty neglect structure here. We're calling it a barn, but it's going to be able to house all kinds of animals. A lot of people don't also realize that we're responsible for helping in the cruelty neglect area with farm animals, exotic animals. And so where do you care for a horse that's been abused or neglected? Again, this is going to help us with that.
So are these 4 separate facilities?
Most of they are, there's really the high volume spay neuter clinic and the needs-based animal hospital will be one structure but divided, if you will. So the cruelty neglect area will be a separate area out near the back of our property. And then the adoption facility will be, again, as we've already mentioned, in a different part of town.
And this is all on this campus?
Everything
Except
but
for
the adoption center. Yes.
And Brian,
that's what the plan is looking like now.
how can individuals help you out with trying to get these things developed?
Well, we want people to buy into the vision. This is something that we know we need in this community. We want people to become part of the transformation. We want people to help us unleash this change. And so just by supporting us and jumping on our website and looking at the vision that we're creating for this community, that's the first step in getting people to be on board with us.
And what's the website?
It's www.hsdayton.org, but we also have a special site, which is www.unleashthechange.org.
How much money are you talking about? What do you need and where are you at right now?
It's a little too early to talk about money at this point in time. Again, this is about just showing the community that we have a vision for transforming animal welfare in this community. But we'll get to that later. We do know it's going to take money, but we also know that it's been many, many years since an organization like ours has done a movement like this. So we're excited for this change.
Any other humane facilities in the state or nationally that are kind of doing the same thing?
Well, there are lots of groups within the country that do different things, and that's one of the things that we did in our strategic planning process as we benchmarked different areas of the country to see what kind of proactive changes are occurring in other parts of the country, and what areas are tackling cat overpopulation issues, which ones are not. And so part of these things that we want to do, part of this vision, is based on what we've learned from others.
With Mother's Day just around the corner, Brian, would you highly recommend that adopting a pet would be a good way of celebrating Mother's Day as well?
Absolutely. I mean, again, we've got 3 wonderful organizations within this community. The Humane Society is the oldest, the largest, no-kill. But we have the Animal Resource Center up north, which is a great group, and we have 6 Animal Kettering, which is a great group, and we know that they're also involved in helping us transform our community.
Talk about the difference that going from 4,000, the space to do 4,000 spay and neuters a year to what was it, 20,000?
Yes. There's just the cat overpopulation issues that we're trying to deal with is that it's like a goalpost that is moving further away from us than we're able to approach it. Cats reproduce very, very quickly. In fact, we're entering the season right now that we call kitten season, where the cats that are out in the community are starting to reproduce. And if you think about how quickly they're reproducing, I mean, a cat's gestational time frame is only about 63 to 64 days. It's only about 2 months, a little over 2 months. And they can have 2 to 3 kittens per litter. They can have 2 litters per year. If you start thinking about how many cats are out there doing that, 4,000 a year is not touching it. We're not able to touch what the problems are out in the community. And so in order for us to be effective, we already know that we're running an ethical program with the Trap Neuter Return program. But in order for it to be more effective, we have to create an ability to spay and neuter more.
With the needs-based hospital, I guess how far do you think can go in enabling people to hold on to their pets? I mean, like you said, so many people, they just can't afford the care with some of them.
We hear it all the time, and it's a sad story when people have animals that they love and they're struggling to take care of them. And we want those animals to remain in those homes. We have a lot of really wonderful not-for-profits in the community that are trying to help people, but we want to be the not-for-profit that is helping the animals from the families that are struggling. And again, it's what a horrible choice to make, to put your animal to sleep or to turn it in, give it away to a sheltering system because you can't afford something that is treatable. And so again, our belief is that we want to help those people so they can keep those animals in their home because they're family members.
The adoption center, just talk about how it'll help kind of adopt more animals. Having a standalone space like that where you can really showcase the animals and that.
Yeah, so as I mentioned just a little bit ago, a lot of our cage spacing here are taken up with animals that are in the process of getting ready for adoption. So they're all not available for adoption because when we get animals in, they come in, unfortunately, in different states. Some are abused, neglected, some are just homeless, and so we have to work them up and get them to a point where they're ready for adoption. A facility like this will be housing animals that are all ready for adoption. So this facility will be primarily used for getting the animals ready for adoption, and essentially we'll be taking them out into our adoption locations. And we've already made a lot of headway over the years with our off-site adoption program. I already mentioned that we have the Meows and Cat Boutique at the Dayton Mall, which is something we started back in 2008, late 2008. But we also have 20 other locations throughout Montgomery County where we're adopting animals. And so this is going to be a facility where volunteers can come and families can come, and we're going to find a lot more homes for homeless animals.
With the cruelty and neglect barn, I also saw, it looks like you guys are having a response vehicle as well in the plans. Talk about, I guess, the number of, to me it seems like we're seeing more and more of these quarters with 10, 20, 30, 40 cats, dogs,
yeah, it's disturbing. Again, we have humane agents that are out in the field right now, and we rely on our community to be the eyes and ears for us. We can certainly react to reports of cruelty and neglect, and we do every day. But in order to be more proactive, we need the eyes and ears of the public. And so when people see things that aren't right, we want them to report it. We can't have access to everyone's home, and it's unbelievable when you go into even a very nice neighborhood and everything looks great, and then you walk inside a home and it's a completely different story inside the home. And who knows that? I mean, does anyone driving by know that? No, but once we come across something like that and the animals are in need, and again, the animals are the victims here, we know the people who are involved in that situation need help, so we're not oblivious to that. But when we have to charge people with crimes against animals, then again, we have a court system that allows the people to get the help they need, and then we will take care of the animals that need help also.
1 year, 3 years, 5 years, or
yeah, we believe this is going to be a 3-year vision for us. Again, something like this is a transformational thing for our community. We're excited to be a part of creating a no-kill community, and we know that this is our part in how we're going to unroll this for our community.
You want the whole thing done in 3 years?
That's the goal. Again, we're just announcing the vision today. We've got wonderful partners, wonderful donors in the community who also want to see this happen, and we're excited for it.
Do you have folks lined up already who have pledged to give? Or?
Again, we're just talking about the vision here and how we're transforming and what our vision is for transforming. We have talked to many, many people, and so we've gotten a lot of really green lights for this project, so we're excited about it.
But in terms of people who've already committed,
we're not asking anyone to donate money at this point in time. We're asking for people to go to the website and to join our vision.
So get excited.
To get excited. This is exciting. We're going to unleash the change here, so this is very exciting for us.
Going from the number of
spay neuters now to what you envision. Any sense of whether or not more personnel might need to come on board for you all? Or
No question. I think, as whenever you expand operations to try to help, in our case, animals, since that's our mission in this community, whenever you do something like that, again, there is going to be a need for more help and more volunteers as well. I mean, right now we have well over 450 volunteers that put in a lot of time. In fact, I think it's close to 35 full-time equivalents here for those who are interested. I mean, it's a lot of volunteer help. And again, a situation like this is going to require a lot more help, so we're excited to advocate for that.
Awesome.
Good?
thank you very
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Thanks for